Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a great end of year holiday season, and I'm wishing you a fantastic new year. It's currently the 2nd of January, and this is a weekly wrap for week 52 of 2021, which ended on New Year's Eve, December 31st. So um, I hope that 2022 will be as prosperous as it was for many of us in 2021. And this is the weekly wrap. I'm going to go through 3 charts. I want to look at the individual indexes. I want to look at the broad market, which is represented by the VTI ETF. And then I want to introduce you to the VTI with Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, which is a fantastic way to recognize a new trend and and when to keep in the trend and when to get out. So please like, subscribe, and share this video. I would appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. So let's jump right into the chart. So what I have on my screen here is the daily charts of the diamonds on the left, the SPY in the middle, and of course the Qs on the right-hand side. Let me get a pen and I'll draw some stuff on here. So this trend line here, I drew on, geez, it's got to be 3 or 4 weeks ago. So you can see the diamonds broke out above it. And now, of course, we're pulling back. I imagine we'll test this, and then hopefully we'll resume the uptrend. There's always a possibility we won't, so we'll keep an eye on that. MACD starting to show a little topping action. I was kind of happy that we produced a fresh high on the MACD, but it's slowing down a little bit at present time. This old high that I drew on the SPY, oh gosh, a couple of weeks ago. Let me get my pen back. Sorry for that. It's New Year, so I need to get back up to speed apparently. So I had drawn this old high as a target to get through, and just like the diamonds, we looks like we're having a little pullback here to that resistance point. Hopefully that will provide support and we'll move up from that. There's always a possibility we'll come down to this trend line though, so I'll have to watch that carefully, just like the Dow. I'm a little concerned about the increase in volume on this pullback. Hopefully we can clear that up when the bulk of the big money comes back in next week. These indicators down here look somewhat positive. The unbalanced volume looks positive, and of course we had the DI plus over the DI minus, which is positive. On the Qs, of course, this is the line that we've talked about over the last few weeks. We got the same pullback here, but we've got the same little bit of concern in volume. We'll have to see what happens next week. So that's the 3 individual indexes that are the most highly watched indexes. Let me erase those marks if I can. Yep, there they go. And I'm going to bring up, let me get rid of this guy. I'm going to bring up the chart of the VTI. I like the VTI because it's a much broader index. It shows you a lot more than the thinner indexes that we just looked at. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. I've got the weekly chart over here and then the daily chart over here. So in similar fashion, we did have a pretty good, what I would call end of year or Santa Claus rally. Unfortunately, on the weekly and the daily, keep in mind this is a much broader index, so it reflects on what more stocks are doing than the other indexes we just looked at. There is this old high here on the weekly chart, which is the same as the old high here on the daily chart. And you see the broader market is not making as much upward progress as the thinner indexes. We did get a Chico cross of the prices, which is bullish, but we did hit a pretty strong resistance here when we got to the old high. And if you go back and look at some of my week-ending market analysis, you'll see that I said that this is likely to present a problem for the broader market, which it certainly has. We've got the same issue with expanding volumes on down days. The MACD did come up, but it did not produce a fresh high. We still have this bearish divergence on the MACD. We've got the bearish divergence on the unbalanced volume, and it has not crossed yet. The advanced decline line is at least above its trend. It has not got above its 9-day moving average, and the DI plus is above the DI minus. So all things considered, I think if we get above this line here, we might make a new high and come back and retest it just like the other averages that we talked about. But I don't think it's a time to back up the truck just because we had, let's see, count them, 1, 2, 3, a 4-day rally. Right? And that 4-day rally was on decreasing volume. So you'd like to see increasing volume on rally. So I think this is worth watching. I'm hoping that January will prove to be a good month like it frequently is. But we need these prices to come up here, test resistance, and then move up. Otherwise, I'd be looking a little cautiously on very aggressive new positions. So that's the VTI, that's the broad market index. Let's look at the Heikin-Ashi for the VTI. And the reason I like Heikin-Ashi, and if you study these charts frequently enough, you'll recognize that they have a different value from regular candlesticks. You can clearly see that we had a very strong rally here that started sort of back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and now we're sort of hitting this little indecision point. So again, even looking at Heikin-Ashi, I think caution is the watchword, but I certainly would be looking for swing chart entries, and I'll show you where you can get those if you're unfamiliar with how my site works. So if you go to my site at profitableswingtrading.com, this is the front page, so all these videos you can find at this link, which will come up. That's the main page. You'll see all these links to videos from the last 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks. And then if you want to get top stock lists, you click on this link, and stock signals you can get on this link. Now what I'm going to do, what I mentioned to most people in my Facebook group, is that I was going to create in January a Heikin-Ashi based alert page. So expect that these pages will expand to 6. These are daily stock signals from top stocks from the broad market, and weekly top stocks and weekly stock signals down here. So I will create another page that has Heikin-Ashi, and likely create a video to explain a little bit more about how they work. So that's it for this week. Hope you have a great week trading, and like I asked before, if you could like, share, and subscribe to these videos, that would be awesome. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.